Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to On Track with Mike. My name is racing announcer Mike Donald. We're debuting our brand new website, ontrackwithmike.com. And I tell you what, one gentleman to start it off with, right here, JT Spence. And I'll tell you what, never has this changing of two initials been so significant in super late model racing, but exit stage right is a great super late model driver named DJ, and enter stage left is a great super late model driver named JT. So JT Spence, we're here in your shop here in Winchester, Virginia. Let's give you the chance to tell everybody, your fans out there, what that's all about.
Well, I guess everybody's probably heard by now, but I'm driving for Greg Gunter this year. Hope for a lot of big things with him in the long future.
So taking over the ride from DJ Myers, Greg Gunter owns the car. Of course, Greg Gunter, the owner of Winchester Speedway, promoter of Potomac Speedway. Got to ask you, JT, how did this come about and you got into the Gunter's honey car for Greg Gunter?
It was all pretty quick. I have a really good friend of mine. It's a real good mutual friend of Greg Gunter's. His name is Richard Wisdale and Billy Ring, two guys down Summit Point. I guess the DJ thing been coming for a couple months from what I was told. I don't know. But Greg called me one day, asked if I was interested in driving his car. This was less than a month ago. I told him I was. So it's all kind of snowball since. We've got a new car ordered and trying to get stuff in line and get things ready to go.
So less than a month, so it's coming together fairly quickly. And I've got to ask, gentleman Greg Gunter that's, has his experience as a car owner, track owner, how does that make you feel, a quality team car owner like that, tapping you on the shoulder, inviting you to come drive for him full-time in the 2013 season? Oh,
I'm blown away by it. I've always had good stuff. My father and mother have done what they could to give me the best stuff that best stuff in this area by far. My kids are growing up pretty fast, and we decided in 2011 we were going to sell out and take a break. That didn't last long. Dougie bought this car sitting behind me here and asked me to drive it for some big races, and ended up having a really good 2012. And I guess that caught Greg's attention, and like I say, hopefully we can do good. I've never had this kind of, usually if I get out of the car, I haven't done too good. I just got to talk to Dad, but when you got to answer to the car owner, it's two different things. So I'm kind of nervous, but I'm really excited at the same time.
Well, we're sitting here in front of the Doug Timmons Rocket chassis steel block late model. We're going to talk about that in just a second, but a couple other changes coming for Greg Gunter's team as you as the driver. First of all, changing the chassis manufacturer. You've had a lot of success in the Rocket chassis, so switching from the PPM chassis to the Rocket chassis, and want you to tell the fans how that came to be. And also, they're taking the number 70 off the car and going to put your famed number 91 on the side. So talk about those two things.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody has drove for Greg. They have to keep their own number. Bo was 00 and Tommy was 15. DJ was 70. So he told me I'd do 91. The Rocket deal, I'm a diehard Rocket guy. Steve Baker and Mark Richardson, those guys, and Josh, there's nothing like those guys up there. Greg got one PPM car back, and we sold it. Pretty luckily, got rid of it pretty quick, and ordered a new car. It should be done hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Like I say, those guys are second to none. They've helped me out. I think I've drove their stuff since 05. It was my first Rocket car, so I've been driving for 7 years. I wouldn't have it any other way. There's a lot of good cars. Master builds are fast. You always got those cars rolling pretty good. The Victory Circles and Moyers. There's a lot of options out there, but I'm just the Rocket guy. They're only 3 hours down the road. Pick up the phone, call Stevie. He's there every time you call, or you can call Josh or whatever. And me and Josh have always got along real good. It's helped me out a lot. So I look forward to it. I'm looking forward to get back in the Supers.
And that sounds great. And and you were telling me earlier, and of course, you've been friends with DJ Myers for a long time, and you said you really hadn't talked to him about this switch, but you were sure that there weren't going to be any hard feelings between you two as competitors this coming year. No,
I wouldn't see any reason why. Like I say, I don't know what happened between him and Greg. It's none of my business what went down. I think they ended on, I guess, good terms, hopefully. But I've been putting off the calling. I just kind of want to let things lay down a little bit before I go out my way to call him or whatever. We'll see each other at the racetrack, but me and DJ were both come up about the same age. He's a little bit older than I am, but we both started racing about the same time in late models, and we had a few bumps in the road. But I consider him a good friend of mine. As far as at the racetrack, he lives in Greencastle. He's pretty far away, but if he needs anything off me, he always comes to me if I need something off him. He knows I can get it off him too. So I don't think any hard feelings there. They're a good bunch of people. DJ and Julie and Tom, they're a long-time racing family, so they deserve to stick around for a little bit.
As you're saying, great working relation. Of course, we wish DJ Myers the best of luck in the upcoming 2013 season. Now, let's talk about the other part of the equation that gets a lot of talk. That's this car behind you now. I believe it was 6 or 7 wins that you had last year. I believe you won it. Williams Grove picked up the Hagerstown Small Car Nationals, I believe, in this car. Had a successful, season with Doug Timmons. So the question is, now that you're moving over, in Greg Gunter's car, obviously Doug Timmons' car is still here behind us. So will you be continuing on as a full-time driver with him, or will you be splitting seat time with another driver? Where does that stand as far as this car is concerned?
From what I was told by the boss, that's Dougie, I'm supposed to put it in the corner and drain the water out of it and race it whenever I want to. It's awful. We only run 11 times last year. I think we broke the first 2 times. Not really broke, just had some bugs to get out. And I think we won 7 out of the 9 that we finished. But as far as anybody else driving the car, if it'd be anybody, we'll either get Dougie out of retirement or Dougie's nephew's going to start racing this year, Kyle Lee. He's driving the number 2T. It'd be the old 16 car, Pete Weaver's. Be same color as this car, red and black. I'm sure you've probably seen it on Facebook. Kyle's going to be good. He's one top-notch quarter-minute drivers in the country. He just won a USAC championship. So rather than focus on me running this thing at all, I'd rather help them out with Kyle and get him used to the car. Like I said, the boy's going to be good. He's going to turn a lot of heads here once he gets used to him.
And you're right, JT. Of course, Kyle Lee moving into the Doug Timmons stables, I guess, will be somewhat of a teammate to you coming up this year. So maybe a partial schedule here. Also, let's talk about Greg Gunter's car now. Will you be concentrating on an individual track championship, going into the 3-state Flyer Series, hitting the big shows? What are the plans with the car?
Right now, the plans are definitely to run Winchester. As far as championship, I don't know. I got to miss 2 races in May. Like I said, I got 2 little girls. One's 4, one's 6. They do ballet dancing, and they have a big recital every May. And if I miss that, the house would probably get burned down. And then on the next weekend, it's actually 2 weekends in a row, the 25th, my crew chief, Jimmy, he's my cousin. He's like my brother. He gets married, so I can't miss that. And I've already talked about it with Greg. But hopefully, by that time of the year, we going fast enough we can spot them 2 races. The one race we got to miss is a 3-state Flyers race. So we're going to, we're not going to miss any points there. But we're going to run Winchester and most, if not all, the shows at Potomac, and then we'll run the Speed Weeks deal, the big races at Hagerstown, the big races at Bedford. Anything that doesn't interfere with Saturday nights at Winchester, we're going to run all those shows. But right now, the biggest goal was to get fast at home, and then we'll go from there.
All right, so it looks like the Appalachian Mountain Speed Week's also part of the plan. Now, I've got to ask you, as far as the crew that you have with this car, also the sponsorship, will there be sponsors and crew members from this team here that will also move over laterally to help you with Greg Gunter's car?
Oh, yeah. I got 3 guys. Travis, he's here tonight. He just come on this year. I got Brandon Lowry. He's my best friend, and he's helped me for I don't know how many years, but he'll be there, both cars. Bobby Dove, he's a good friend of mine. He just come on there a couple of years ago. He's great help. Couldn't do it without him. Those 2 guys will go with me wherever I go. As far as this car, Dougie, we're going to run this car for the big races as long as don't stir up too much controversy at Winchester or anything like that. Natural Bridge, places like that. We can fit them both in the hauler now, so we can take it wherever we want to go. As far as sponsors, the really only sponsor I ever had racing as far as monetary-wise was my dad. So he'll be on the 91 car. And Danny Sullivan, he helped me out for the last couple of years. We'll get him on there somewhere. Any other sponsors are pretty much product sponsors. Schaefer Zool, Alan Bradley, that guy's done a lot for me. TC Race Cars, Chuck Kleiss. Hershey Race Engine, this is going to be a new venture for me. I had Hershey's in this car, but I've always run Pro Power in my late model cars. So, Jason Covert and those guys don't struggle with them, so I'm sure I won't either. As far as, sponsors, Performance Auto Works at Summit Point, they're the ones that get me all my stuff that I need for Greg's car. So, as far as crews, pretty much going to be the same group of guys that's been in this garage for the last 10 years, working on both cars. Like I said, both cars are going to stay here the whole time. And whenever we want to race them both, we'll put them both in the trailer and go race.
And lastly, you were talking about your children. Of course, you're a second-generation driver. Just talk with your father, Jim, and your chance to talk about your family, your wife, your children, and those, the most important people that really help back you in your racing career.
Yeah, I was actually kind of worried about this deal when Greg called me on Monday a couple weeks ago and asked me if I wanted to drive his car. I said yes, and then I kind of thought about it. I was like, well, I probably should have talked with my wife about that, but I think she's more excited than I am. Actually, we're celebrating 3 years anniversary tomorrow, so she stuck behind me through it all, and she'll be there for me. My kids, my little boy's 9. He's really getting interested in racing, so we're kind of finding another sport for him so we can back him out of this racing. He likes football. He played football this year, likes that. His name's Aiden. My little girl's name is Ashlyn. She's 6. She'll be 7 in June. And then Jalen, we call her Jake. She'll be 5 in June. They're what it's all about. I've been up here for the last month trying to get this stuff done, and I got a body over there I'm putting on Brian Timer's car. I got one sitting there waiting, and I got another one waiting after that before I get my car in here. So they're kind of sacrificing time with me right now, but they know what it's all about. They come up and see me. We only live 4 houses down, so my mom and dad, I wouldn't be able to do it without them. They got me started. Mom's probably my biggest fan of them all, so it's a big family deal here. I usually don't go racing without my family, so I don't ever race without dad there. He's the one that always been there for me, so it's a pretty big deal.
Well, that sounds great, and happy anniversary coming up tomorrow. And website, go ahead and put out there your website so your fans can check you out online.
It's jtspence.com. Now, it's not been updated yet because we're waiting on some color schemes for the cars, so Jason Walls can redesign it for us, but keep checking in. It'll be looking good as new here before long.
All right, JT, I know you're busy. Thanks a lot for taking the time out to talk to us tonight.
Thank you very much for having me, and I hope your website does good.
Well, thank you very much. And speaking of the website, you can check out this interview. It's ontrackwithmike.com. My name is Mike Donald. That is JT Spence. Thank you so much for checking us out tonight. We'll see you later on. Have a good evening, ladies and gentlemen.